Now, one of my favorite questions in War Thunder in general is what is the rattiest, the most annoying tank in the game or the most annoying vehicle in the game? Well, it definitely has to be a ATGM box because the ATGMs are definitely very ratty, very annoying if used properly. And today I have two vehicles that definitely fulfill the rat category and definitely fulfill the very annoying category. Two vehicles that I personally really love to drive and two vehicles that are very scary in combat. The M901 and the IT-1 Dragon. Now, this vehicle is nicknamed the Wally tank or the Wally ATGM box because of its particular design that does look like the Wally robot. However, this thing is very lethal. It has dual ATGMs. The ATGM launcher itself is very tall and a direct hit into the ATGM launcher is not going to be enough to destroy the vehicle. You have to shoot at the hull or shoot at this vehicle with a high caliber high explosive shell, and even the high caliber high explosive shells fail to destroy the vehicle if you hit the ATGM launcher. You really have to aim lower to hit the hull. But it is very fast, has no armor, and has 630 millimeters of average penetration with the ATGM launcher. Now, the IT-1 Dragon is actually a vehicle that you have in two platoons, the T-55A and the T-55AMD. It is pretty much the same vehicle. The only difference is the T-55AMD is a premium platoon, and in the case of the T-55AMD, this vehicle will earn a little bit more experience and it will earn a little bit more silver. So I'm usually driving this platoon and this IT-1, but it's pretty much the same vehicle. Now it has a single ATGM on top of the turret, and the key factor, the most important factor on this little vehicle is that it's very flat. It is probably the flattest main battle tank. This is a tank technically, although I've seen it being categorized as a tank destroyer, but it's a main battle tank with a ATGM with a rocket. Well, ATGM is more, I guess, accurate, a missile. Technically based on the T-62 hull, has a little bit less penetration, but honestly any ATGM penetration is going to be enough since you are guiding the missile to the target and you will probably be aiming at the weak spots. But let's see how these two vehicles will perform. Now I'll tell you right away, this is probably one of the most fair comparisons that I've done in a very long time because I think I had the exact same amount of destroyed vehicles in both cases, side by side actually. I played first the M901 and then the IT-1, and yeah, it was really fun. So the state advantage of the M901, it is very tall and it is a very ratty hull down vehicle. Again, the term rat means really annoying tank. This is technically not a tank, but you know, it falls into the armored vehicle category, and you know, it is still very ratty, it's still a rat. The thing is, it's very tall, you can hide the hull and basically take advantage of some rocks like I'm doing at the moment, and yeah, only the missile launcher is visible. If you get hit in the missile launcher, 15-second repair, but the vehicle is not destroyed. It has two, as I mentioned before, two missiles loaded. It has a very interesting loading animation. It does take very long to reload, but honestly it's meant to be used as a sniper. Well, in this case I am not quite using it as a sniper, I'm pretty much at the front lines here, but the reload is manageable. Most of the vehicles that you will hit with this will be popped in one hit anyway, so not really a big deal. The ATGM is very stable and it's fairly fast, so you can, if you practice long enough, you can actually guide the missile behind cover and you can definitely troll enemy vehicles by shooting around buildings and stuff like that. It is doable, and with practice it is definitely, you know, a fun thing to do. I also love how my ATGM just ghosted through that premium vehicle. Probably spawn protection if you ask me, but yeah, still funny when the missile just goes through. Ghost ATGM, yeah, that's actually a thing that might be, I mean, it's War Thunder. I'm not surprised if it has bugs like that, it's War Thunder after all. Anyway, that first ghost missile didn't really help the Type 74 much, was destroyed regardless. Now this position is not really the best position, I prefer the rock that I was at earlier, but this position is good because you basically cover 3 positions. You cover the middle position, which is above the line here, and you cover the beach, you cover the base A. Not the best vehicle to be in this position since it's fairly tall, and this position is really good where if you have a very low profile vehicle like the IT-1, but if you move around, if you are careful, you can definitely manage just fine with this vehicle. And I'm getting jumped by a T-54. Well, that was a double kill somehow, I don't know, maybe the IT-1 burned, I honestly have no idea what happened there, but that was a double kill. And now I am out of ammo. Now one significant advantage that the IT-1 has over this vehicle is ammo or missile capacity. 15 versus 10 on the M901. Now, having less ammo, not a big deal since it reloads automatically, but in some cases you will be able to run out of ammo very quickly on this vehicle, since it has 2 ATGMs and you can fire them at the same time practically. So running out of ammo is quite common with the M901 if you're using it, and that's one of the drawbacks of the vehicle. It doesn't have a lot of missiles. In my case, it wasn't a big deal breaker. I've had some crazy battles with this, but it's just one thing to keep in mind while driving the vehicle. And I forgot to mention the vehicle is in the M728 CEV platoon, which is a premium platoon, a paid premium platoon. Was obtainable on the anniversary of the game. If you did buy the vehicle, it was a good deal, I believe. Was on a discount if I remember correctly. But yeah, I don't know when the vehicle will be available again, but if you do like the M901, if you really like how this vehicle works, if you want to buy it, I would say it's definitely worth to buy. I've had an insane amount of fun with it. Definitely a vehicle that requires some knowledge of positioning and tactical positioning, but honestly not too difficult to drive around. Is it worth it? Yes, it is. It's ridiculously fun. It's one of, I would say, probably one of the best ATGM vehicles in the game right now, based on the servability, based on how it works, based on the missile. Probably one of the best, if not the best. Of course not invincible, but it just really works really well. And yeah, that's SPAA was a little bit distracted. Oh look, a AMD, isn't that lovely? Now against the AMD, it has active protection system APS, so you really have to launch the ATGM in such a way to avoid the APS, and I'll show you how to do that. Basically you have to aim low. The APS is on the turret. If they're distracted, like they have been distracted, just aim at the hull, try to guide the missile a bit lower and try to hit the ammo. Usually that's how you control the APS system on the T-55 AMD. It works, the APS works, but it's not perfect. It has its weakness and you can take advantage of it. T-10A, and that's a fast heavy tank, but that ATGM does fly quite quickly. Again, the ATGM is very solid on this vehicle. Not the best, definitely not the best missile. The RATTY has a much better ATGM, both speed-wise, stability, and both penetration-wise, but you know, this will do. You have 2 of them, so I can forgive that this vehicle doesn't have the best ATGM. You have to have some form of balancing, you know. And just like that, 10 destroyed vehicles, and I didn't even pay attention to the amount of tanks that I was destroying. I felt like I did carry the battle a little bit. I felt like we have been losing in the first half of the battle, but I think with the amount of tanks that I've destroyed, it was a bit too difficult to lose. So I think I did carry the game a little bit, but that was actually a very solid battle. 10 destroyed vehicles. I would say pretty solid. I would say it was a pretty solid battle. Not my best battle, that's for sure, but you know, I'll take it. Not going to complain. Now, let's jump in the IT-1. That was the M901. Let's go with the Pancake. This thing has a nickname. There's a lot of nicknames. Pancake, Flat Panzer, Rocket Panzer. I don't know how many nicknames this thing has. I just call it Pancake. And this map is pretty much one of the best maps that you can use this vehicle on, because it offers you one of the rattiest and nastiest positions in this game. Now this position works with pretty much any low profile ATGM box or tank, and you probably know already this position, but yeah. With the case of the IT-1, only the ATGM is visible, literally only the missile is visible, very little portion of the turret is visible, but the ATGM is the only thing that's peeking out, and yeah, when you reach this position with this vehicle, it doesn't matter what comes at you. If you have the rocket prepared, yeah, the enemy team will have a very bad day, that's for sure. Primarily because they will not be able to see you before you see them. And when realistic battles come to this game, this position will be very evil. The only way to destroy this vehicle is to pop it with a bomb or artillery, or as you will see later, if you aim at the little weak spot, or should I say, if you aim at the top of the turret, you can actually hit this vehicle in this position with a missile. If you guide the missile just a little pixel below the wall here, you can actually hit the turret, the upper part of the turret. And if you have a high explosive shell, you can overpressure the vehicle quite easily. But again, getting that shell off is quite difficult. And if the IT-1 is quite literally glued to the wall, it is very difficult to shoot it down. The M901 works in the same way, but the M901 is a little bit taller, so it's much easier to hit. The missile launcher is quite literally protruding all the way up, and it's much easier to hit that vehicle with anything basically. The Raketniak also works really well in this position, and that's AT-55, well, was AT-55, not anymore. The disadvantage of this vehicle is the missiles are not going to be reloaded while you are in the base. The M901 can actually have infinite ATGMs if you're in this position, since when you fire the ATGM, the reload automatically starts. So you don't have to go into the reload animation. If you fire one ATGM, you can actually wait for the reload to do its thing automatically. With this vehicle you have a reload, and you have to wait for the reload to do its thing once you run out of the missiles. You cannot reload automatically with the zone here in the base. I would say that's maybe a balance factor, maybe not, but it's one thing to keep in mind. And let's say AMD. The AMD wasn't looking at me, and at this distance the APS is not going to work. At this distance the APS is too slow to react on the missile, and that T-55 AMD is in trouble. At the same time I am also in trouble, since the T-55 AMD can actually hit. And exactly what I said would happen. Actually no, I was hit by the ZTZ, not the T-55. Okay, that makes sense. That was I would say, very lucky hit. since very little of the vehicle is visible. But in any case, how many destroyed tanks was that? 9 or 10? I have no idea, I did not count, but I'll finish the match with the T-55 AMD. So, which one of the two platoons would you prefer? Honestly, I do like both. I would say the CEV is definitely a very capable platoon. The CEV itself is a very fun vehicle to drive around as well. Oh, there's the ZTZ. Okay, maybe I managed to destroy the ZTZ this time, who knows. And yes, I do. Eye for an eye. Beautiful. Okay, now where was I? The AMD definitely has its advantage when it comes to active protection. I mean, obviously, it does work. The active protection system does work against most of the AT-GMs. It is unable to stop the supersonic AT-GMs, the very fast ones, but it's able to stop most of them. So the T-55 AMD definitely does have some decent protection. The CEV does have a huge gun, and a high explosive on that thing is, or hash in that case, is very fun to use. I would say directly, I'm not going to say one main metal tank is better than the other, since obviously every tank has its own advantage and disadvantage, which is fine. I mean, there is no perfect vehicle. When it comes to the AT-GM boxes, IT-1 is much easier to get the hands on, because you know you can get the IT-1 on the T-55A platoon. And honestly, I would actually recommend the IT-1 because it's much easier to get your hands on that vehicle. So my thing here would be, if you want a very ratty, annoying vehicle, the IT-1 is definitely much easier to obtain than the M901. However, if you do like how the M901 works, I mean, again, if you want vehicle, if you want to buy the platoon, I'm going to give the vehicle a huge thumbs up, because the M901 is actually really good. So yeah, these were I would say the two most annoying vehicles in the game. However, do tell me in the comments down below which other tanks would you like to see, which other really annoying tanks, rats, would you like to see me drive. And with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed. If you would like to support me, feel free to like and subscribe. And with that being said, stay safe, and as always, I'll see you next time.